Why, hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alauna, and today I'm going to be taking you through a power yoga sequence to strengthen those glute muscles. This was a very professional sequence that I wrote out on a sticky notepad a few days ago, and I'm really excited about it, so prepare to get sweaty, grab some water, and I'll meet you on your mat. But we'll go ahead and get started today in a child's pose. So coming down onto the knees, bringing the knees wide on your mat, big toes come to touch, hips go back towards the heels as you walk the hands out in front of you. Lowering the forehead down and settling in onto your mats today. Tuning into the body, tuning into your breath. Just becoming aware of how you're feeling today. And taking 5 deep breaths together, in through the nose and out through the mouth, working on deepening both inhales and exhales. As you're ready, in 3, 2, 1, inhale. Exhale. 4 more. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And gently falling back into your natural pattern of breathing. But still keeping that depth and that power in the breath. So we'll be using the breath to power us through our yoga class today. Tuning into the breath is kind of what makes this yoga, not just another workout. So really using the breath to power us through. And as you're aware of your breath throughout practice, I also want you to become aware of your thoughts. Now, normally in a yoga class, you're told to, just focus on your breath and forget about your mind. But here I want you to notice any thoughts that come up as we come into these challenging poses today. Notice if you are doing negative or positive self-talk, telling yourself you got this, or telling yourself you can't do it, because your mentality will shape your reality. So tuning into where you can power through, but also noticing where you need to take a rest, noticing if you ever lose touch with your breath. You can always come back here to child's pose for a few breaths to ground back in. All right, on your next inhale, slowly begin to lift the forehead up and walk the hands in underneath the shoulders as you lift the hips, stacking the hips on top of the knees, coming into all fours. So really spreading the fingers out wide. And on an inhale, pull the chest forward between the biceps, curling the tailbone up, cow pose. And exhale to round through the spine, pressing the shoulder blades apart, chin curls in towards the chest for cat pose. So inhale forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale to round, draw the tailbone down between the knees. Moving with your breath here. And on your next inhale, go ahead and find a neutral spine with a flat back. Keeping the shoulders stacked under the wrists, knees stacked underneath the hips. And we're going to bend into the left knee and press the left sole of the foot up to stand on the ceiling. Flexing through the toes here, keeping that left hip dropped and aligned with the right. And then you can either choose to stay here with the leg bent like this, or you can extend, if it's comfortable, the left leg out by your side, but trying to make sure that the shoulders stay over the wrists wherever you are. So whether you have the knee bent, sole of foot pressing up on the ceiling, or leg extended, find a pulse. Lifting the leg up and down. Remembering to stay connected to your breath, Taking 2 more deep inhales and exhales. Then whether you have the knee bent or extended, bring that left foot out to your side. I'll turn to face you, so this is a little bit easier. But pointing the left toes forward, keep the right knee underneath the hip. As you inhale, lift the arms high, find your gate pose. Inhale to lengthen up to the fingers, and exhale over that left leg. Had to think about that one. Really focusing on pulling that right shoulder back and down away from the ear. So maybe bending into the elbow a bit. And inhale, bring the arms back to parallel. And exhale, right hand comes down beside the right knee. And hover the left foot up off of your mat. So taking those little pulses again here. Lifting the foot up. And back down, moving with control here. So not just flailing your leg around, but really using the breath to steady yourself through your core and really isolating this movement in the hip and the glute. Take 1 more inhale. And exhale, make your way back to all fours. Maybe taking a few cats and cows to recenter through the spine. And on your next inhale, find a neutral spine and reach that right sole of foot to stand on the ceiling, pressing the sole of foot up, flexing into the glute. And you can either stay here, or if the shoulders stay on top of the wrists, you can play with extending the right leg out at your side. This fires up the glute a little bit more. Either way, finding that pulse, so lifting the leg up and down. Steadying yourself with your breath. Find 2 more deep breaths here. Then you can lower that right sole of foot out to the side. I'll turn to face you. You don't have to turn though. And point the right toes forward as you inhale, lift the hands high. Exhale, suck the shoulder blades down the back. And inhale to find length. And exhale, hinge over the right leg. Remember to keep that left shoulder back and away from the ear. On your next inhale, bring the arms back up to parallel. Then exhale, left hand comes down beside that left knee, reaching the right hand high and hovering the right foot up off of the mat. Then adding a pulse. Noticing where your mind goes. And gently lower the right foot down. And inhale, come back up. Moving back to all fours, facing the front of your mat. And as you're ready, walk the knees back, tuck your toes under, lift the hips high, find your downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet here, noticing how the backs of the legs are doing. Stretching it out. And take 3 more deep belly breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Firing up the power in the breath. As we power up in the body. And on your next inhale, shift your gaze forward and step both feet to the top of your mat. Find a forward fold. Exhale to let the head release. Inhale slowly rolls you up to standing, reaching the arms up and overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center. And you can bring the hands to your hips. And making sure that the feet are directly underneath the hips here. Just gently begin to bend into the knees, making sure to not sink the weight into the toes, press the knees forward. You really want to think about pulling the knees back, sinking back into the heels, and just lowering at the hips instead of moving forward with the knees. So really finding stability here. Long straight line from the tailbone all the way through the crown of your head. Remember to breathe. Then shift all of your weight onto that right foot and come onto the left toes. And we're going to move with a little side to side motion here. So inhale, step the foot out. Exhale, pull it back in. Taking 2 more breaths. And inhale, pull that left knee in towards the chest. Woo, that ankle ain't having it today. And cross the left ankle over your right thigh, lowering the hips down into your half chair pose or your figure 4. Keeping those left toes flexed, trying to press the left knee down as you lower the hips down, chest stays high. Long line in the spine here. Then carefully bring right hand to the right hip and lower the left hand, left toes. So if you need a block here, I forgot to mention that, but if you need to bring the floor up to you, go ahead and pause the video, grab something to bring it up to you. But if your hand comes down to the floor, you're going to keep the right hand on your hip, bend generously into the right knee, and then do those step ups with the breath again. Noticing how folding forward changes the sensations in this pose. Continuing to move with the breath. Your right glute should be on fire by now. There's a reason I wore red pants today. Taking 2 more. And release, forward fold. All right, second side. As you're ready, slowly roll up to standing, reaching the arms up and overhead. Then exhale, hands through heart center, and hands down to your hips. And bend into the knees. Again, sinking the weight back into the heels, not leaning forward in order to keep your balance. And shift your weight onto the left foot, come onto the right toes. Then step the right toes out, then pull them back in, moving with the breath. So whatever breath feels the best with the movement here, just making 1 breath per movement. My hip is snap, crackle, popping as I'm rotating it here. So that's okay as long as it's not painful. Take 1 more step out, then step in. Inhale, right knee comes in towards the chest. Exhale, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Trying to be more graceful than I. You can keep the hands at your hips or bring hands to heart center, finding a focal point here. Then bring the left hand to your left hip. Lower the right hand and right toes down to the mat. Still bending into that left knee, step the right toes out, step the right toes in. Isolating this movement in the hips and the glute. Whew. All right, 1 more step out and step in, forward fold. Oh boy. Taking a little releaser here. Inhale, halfway lift, bring the hands to your shins, finding that nice flat back and then coming into a twist. So that right hand will cross over to the left outer calf, keeping the chest lifted so that you can breathe. Either keep the hand on the chest to remind you, or you can extend that left hand up towards the ceiling. If it's comfortable, you can bend into the right knee and press that left hip back, finding a stretch through that muscle we were just using. You should feel it. Gently release the hands down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the shins, flat back, and twist to the second side. So left hand comes to the right outer calf, twisting the right hand up, maybe bending into the left knee as you press the right hip back, really twisting the chest open here. And exhale to release. And inhale, slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Hands come by your sides. Grounding down here in your mountain pose. Tadasana. Taking a few deep grounding breaths. I just realized I forgot to close this door, but we're not about to refilm all of that, so just ignore that. All right. Moving into our second little exercise here. If you do have blocks, they can be useful here. I didn't grab them, but that's okay. But inhale, reach both arms up and overhead. And exhale, forward fold. And this is where it could be useful to bring the hands to the blocks. Or you can come into a halfway lift, bringing the hands to your shins. And then bring the hands to heart center. Shift the weight onto your right foot and send the left toes back. So you're trying to keep a parallel spine here. Hands can be at heart center. Bending into this right knee as much as you need to get activation in this upper right glute. And then from here, hover the left toes up off of your mat, finding that parallel line through the whole body. And from here, find a little bit of a pulse, carefully. Again, if you need to bring the hands down, that's a-okay as well. That's a little bit easier for me here with the pulses. And then intensifying the pulse a little bit more, lower the toes all the way down to the mat, then lift back up. Lower all the way down, and lift as high as you can. Moving with the breath here. Inhaling to lift. Exhale, slow and controlled, lower back down. Ooh, this glute is on fire. All right, last one. Inhale, lift the heel, keep it lifted. And exhale, curl the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, send the leg back. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. 3 more. Exhale, extend the leg. And pull the knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Last one. And you can release the left foot down beside the right. Oh boy, forward fold. And as you're ready, slowly roll up to standing. Hands come by your sides, grounding down. Tadasana. Inhale, reach both arms up and overhead. And exhale, bring hands down through heart center, hinging at the hips, coming into that halfway lift with the back right away. Then if you need to, you can bring the hands down to your blocks, but slide the right toes back, bending into this left knee to find stability here. keeping the right hip tucked down and aligned with the left. Parallel line through the spine. And once you feel stable here, you can slowly lift right foot up, finding your warrior three. Again, lowering the hands if you need to for extra stability. Add that little pulse in the leg. Keeping the chin tucked to protect your lower spine here. Intensifying the pulse by lowering the toes all the way down to your mat. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. All right, last one. Keep the heel lifted on your inhale. And exhale, pull the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale to crunch. 3 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale in. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale in. And lower the right foot down. A forward fold. Grabbing onto opposite elbows and swaying a bit from side to side. And you can exhale, release the hands down, and inhale, slowly roll up to standing. Oh boy, I'm already sore. All right, last little standing thing here. Stepping out wide on your mat. About 1 leg's distance between the feet, and turn the toes out, heels in, and bring the hands to your inner thighs. And I want you to think about pushing the knees out as you slightly bend into the knees. So you're not going down into full goddess yet, just slightly bending into the knees. And then bring the hands to your hips. So imagine that your pelvis is a little bowl here, and notice if your pelvic bowl is dumping the water out or tipping the water back. That's a good way to fall over in this next exercise. So be sure to keep the hips stable and level as you bend lower into the knees, sinking the hips down, again pressing the knees out. You should already feel some activation there. Feeling into this stretch. Then adding on. Slowly keeping the bend in the elbows, bring the hands down in front of you and begin to pulse through the knees. Now as you pulse, you might be able to pulse a little bit lower. You might need to walk the feet out a little bit farther away from you. But really making sure that you're not leaning forward and lifting the hips, really trying to drive the tailbone down to the mat. Woo. All right, finding 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, reach the arms high, straighten through the legs. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. And hands can come to your hips. Turn the toes in, heels out, hinging at the hips. Find your forward fold with wide legs. The hands can come somewhere along the thighs, on your blocks, or down on the mat here. Reconnecting into your breath. And bring the hands to your hips, and on an inhale, slowly come back up. Heel toe the feet back together. Oh boy, I'm sweaty. And come to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms high. And exhale to forward fold. And making our way down into our seat here. heel toe the feet out to the outer edges of your mat, keeping the toes pointing forward here. And same thing that we did in goddess squat. So lower the hips down so that the thighs become parallel with the mat. You may need to walk the feet out even wider than the mat to make it comfortable on the knees. Feel free to do so. And keep the fingers down on the mat and pulse. So you're not trying to lift the hips like this. You're really just pulsing with the knees, not with the hips. Feeling that activation where you want to. So if you're not feeling activation where you want to be, what's the point of doing it? Don't half-ass it. You got this. And go ahead and lower the hands down behind you. Come down into a seat. Bring the soles of feet to touch. Let the knees go out wide. Finding a butterfly pose, so grabbing onto the ankles and rolling the shoulder blades down the back. Coming back to your breath. Noticing how your breath and your body have changed throughout our practice today. Then bring the hands to the outsides of the thighs, bring the knees into close, and gently roll down onto your backs. Hugging the knees in towards the chest and rocking a bit from side to side. And last little thing here, lower the feet down to the mat, walking the heels in towards the hips. Making sure that the heels are hip width distance apart and the knees are as well. Then take the hands and grab onto the outside edges of your mat so that you can tuck both shoulders underneath you. So you're trying to pull the entire spine away from the mat. And on an inhale, use the glutes and the inner thighs to pull you up, squeezing the inner thighs together to keep the knees hip width distance apart. Finding stability here. Then inhale to lift the hips. Exhale to lower the hips. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Couldn't do a glute yoga class without doing this. I'm so sorry. Moving with your own breath here. Last little burnout. All right, last one, inhale to lift, then exhale to lower. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. And taking that figure four pose that we did standing, but now reclined. So let the left sole of foot come down, right ankle crosses over the left thigh, and thread the right hand in between the thighs to grab onto the back of the left thigh. Keeping the right toes flexed, drawing the thighs down towards the chest, keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears, and simply breathing into what you can feel in this pose. And gently release. Bring the right sole foot to the mat. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh, pressing the left knee away from you as you hug the thighs in towards the chest, threading the left hand in between them, interlacing the fingers behind the right thigh and keeping the left toes flexed, shoulders relaxed. Awareness on your breathing. And gently release the legs. And coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, so bring the soles of feet to touch. Knees can come out to the sides, reclined butterfly pose or bound angle. Really letting the hips open and release here. If this is not comfortable on your knees, you can place the blocks underneath your knees, letting them have something to rest on. And then either resting the hands by your sides, or for a little bit of a chest and heart opener, you can reach the arms up and overhead, interlace the fingers, and tuck the hands behind the nape of your head. So keeping both shoulders and elbows flat on the mat. Breathing into the body here, making space for growth. Maybe doing a little bit of a check-in. Where is your mind? Where are your thoughts? We all made it here to the end of the class, so that means your thoughts couldn't have been too bad. Remembering that you can still be kind to yourself as you push yourself. You're always capable of more than you think you are, so give yourself some credit. Then gently release the hands back down by your sides and extend both feet out long, coming into your Shavasana here. So getting any wiggles out of the body that you need to. And then maybe doing a full body scan here. So relaxing the toes and the ankles, relaxing the knees and the hips, relaxing the lower back, the mid back, and the shoulders. Relaxing your arms, your elbows, and your wrists. Relaxing your neck and your jaw and your face. Relaxing the tongue away from the top of your mouth. And closing down the eyes if you hadn't already. Coming into stillness. Really allowing our body a chance to soak up all of the movement that we just did. And allowing the body a few moments of rest in stillness. Stillness both physically as well as mentally. So here, try to just bring your awareness to your breath. You've already made it to the end of your practice. So all that's left to do is become aware of your breathing in Shavasana. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Bringing the awareness back to the body and movement back to the hands and the feet. You can inhale and reach the arms up and overhead, finding a final full body stretch. Before bending into both knees and rolling over onto one side. Taking one more moment in stillness here. Thanking yourself for showing up on your mats today for your self-practice. And keeping the eyes closed, gently press yourself up into your seat. Whatever is most comfortable in your body. Bringing the hands somewhere along the thighs, or you can bring the hands to heart center. And taking 3 final grounding breaths together as a class, in through the nose and out through the mouth. In 3, 2, 1. And slightly tuck the chin in and blink the eyes back open, coming back to the space around you. I thank you all for joining me on your mats today. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, even if your glutes are suffering. Let me know down in the comments how this class went for you. Did you enjoy it? Was it terrible? Please let me know. Should I make more power yoga classes? I have fun with these. I mean, like I said, I created this class on a sticky note one night when I couldn't sleep. So, this is what I do for fun. So let me know if you want to see more and give me suggestions. I've done core, I've done glutes. What else do you want to see? And yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel, help this little baby YouTuber grow, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye.